Okay, so I want to talk about indifference. How do you get to a place of indifference where you just don't care anymore? I might pee, I might not pee, I don't know. I'm here in this present moment. How do you get to that place? Let's put this into perspective. I've not had a misfire for a long, long time. Is my life peaches and cream? Absolutely not. Challenges continue to come into my life. So you don't want to put the recovery of paruresis on a pedestal. You know how, like, when you're really attracted to someone, this is very common, and I think a lot of us will have done it at some point. You're really attracted towards someone and you fantasize about having them in your life, and you begin to feel that if only you could get that person to like you, your life would be absolutely amazing. And what ends up happening is we put that person up here, so we're relating towards them as though they're beyond us somehow. They're up there and we're down here. Don't do that with your paruresis. Don't put paruresis recovery up here on a pedestal and fantasize about how your life is going to be completely solved and perfect once you cure yourself of paruresis. Don't do that. In the same regard as when you put someone that you're attracted to on a pedestal, what can happen is you can be in danger of envying. I've got a pet dog down here. You can be in danger of envying the other guys that are, because I've done this as a guy, envying other guys who can get girls and believing that their life is perfect. We can do it with people who don't have shy bladder. And we can get a little bit cynical, a little bit bitter around it, beginning to envy other guys who can pee, thinking that their life's perfect and I can't pee. And can you see how that can turn into a story of how nothing goes right for me and if only I could pee, why me? It's not helpful. So I came across this technique in the pickup community, and it's whereby you contemplate actually getting that person into your life, and you ask yourself this, you contemplate this: okay, I get that person into my life, so what? I get all the girls I want, or I get all the guys I want, so what? What, are you going to be the Mac Daddy then? Everything's sorted, thank you very much, good night. That's you then, is it? Of course not. You're still going to have challenges even with that person in your life. Okay, you might be walking on clouds for a few weeks, maybe even a few months, but sure enough, you're going to adapt to it and you're going to want a new challenge. There's going to be the new wanting. So in the same regard, contemplate how your life will be when you're cured of shy bladder. Okay, you're cured of shy bladder. You can now pee wherever, whenever. So what? What then? Because let's not forget, we want to be able to pee so that we can get on with the business of living. So the trick is not to get overexcited about the prospect of being able to pee. What do I mean by that? Getting overexcited. Whenever I was in what I considered a pressure situation, a situation where I wanted to portray my bestest self, whether I be at a meeting at work or on a date with that special someone, when I go to the toilet, if I'm stood there and I really, really want to pee, I don't want to leave the toilet having not peed, I really, really want to pee. If I started to develop a stream, sometimes I'd get so excited and be like, yes, it's happening, I'm going to pee, that I'd lock up. So It's like this can happen in sport as well. In sport, if you can maintain your composure, you'll do what you've practiced to do over and over again, regardless of the situation, regardless of what's on the line. So let's say, for example, a soccer player is dribbling the ball near to goal. If he gets too excited and thinks about being the hero, I'm going to score, I'm going to score, I'm going to do it, and it's easier not to score, he ends up losing the present moment, he loses his composure and hits the ball wide. So it's putting it into perspective. Now, a lot of self-help material around paruresis encourages you to celebrate your triumphs. Now, if you go to the toilet under what used to be a difficult situation and you find that you're able to pee, you know, great, fantastic. I'm not saying to minimize it, but at the same time, it's not a good idea to see it so much as a triumph, okay? You want to remain cool, calm, collected, indifferent. So instead of it being this big triumph, like a big thing, can you see how we're making it this big thing? Will I pee, won't I pee? Rather than it being so much of a triumph, it's just think of it as one less thing to think about, allowing you to get on with the business of living your life. So if you're there at the urinal or in a stall, if you're able to pee, great, one last thing to worry about so I can get on with my life, zip it back up, take a deep breath and move confidently out of the toilets. In the same regard, if you're unable to pee, it's no longer a catastrophe that debilitates you. It's an inconvenience that is otherwise awkward, but nonetheless you can cope with. And that's not to reduce your paruresis to an inconvenience. We're talking about attitude, the attitude to take around peeing or not peeing. Will I pee or won't I be able to pee? I don't know. I'm in the present moment. Let's see what happens. Remaining indifferent to both outcomes. And this is a kind of a Zen attitude. If you've looked into Zen, it's a meditative practice of isness, just being present with what is, without a story, without a dialogue in the head. There's a famous poem by a guy called Rudyard Kipling, and there's a line in that poem and it goes, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same. And this line of this poem is on the entrance to Centre Court at Wimbledon. Wimbledon, the famous tennis Grand Slam in England. Because it very much applies to sport. As I was saying, the best sportsmen and women can remain calm and in the zone regardless of what's on the line. So what does Rudyard mean by meeting with triumph and disaster and treating those two impostors just the same? It's a poem aimed at young people, giving them advice on how to approach life. And he basically means that triumph and disaster, winning and losing, they're not as important as we think they are. Winning and losing are false reflections on who we really are. So it's not being defined by your triumphs and not being defined by your failures. Sportsmen and women who become very defined by their sport and by winning at their sport can suffer deep, very dark depression, suicidal even, when they're no longer able to compete at that level. So if you stood there and peeing doesn't happen, put it back into your boxers, zip yourself up, and go and engage the world of other humans all with their own challenges, all with their own trials and tribulations. Don't put yourself down here, and Paruresis Recovery and other people who are able to pee, don't put them up there. As I said, my life isn't peaches and cream, and I've not had a misfire for years. I hope you got something from that. Catch you on the next video.